Good evening and welcome to the Black Ibis Social Club live episode. This is season 3, episode 15. We got Fisto back and we got, well, he's always here. He lives
Yes,
here. He belongs
I am
here.
back
And
again.
then Lisa's back. She just decided to come back. I was like, hey man, you want to just, keep continuing a conversation from like 2 weeks ago? And she's like, yeah, I will. So she came back. Um,
Yes,
I'm
Queen.
I'm I'm amped up. I have energy, man. Can you feel this? I think my nicotine addiction finally like wore off. I think like I am I'm about like a 1/10 of the way through an Olipop or a poopy or whatever the hell they're called. They're absolutely disgusting sodas. I don't know if you ever tried those, but it's the vintage cola, a new kind of soda, a soda that sucks, but it's actually like I'm addicted to them, like because what you guys have to understand is that I am deep down a masochist, right? Like if something's disgusting, I like it. If something's miserable, I enjoy it. So Olipop, it's disgusting. I drink it. You know what I mean? Because I need therapy, man. So yeah, how you guys been? Lisa, what's up? She did. We lost her. Anyways, Fisto, what's up?
Wow, just like that. And Lisa is dead. Nah, she'll be back. She's like Jesus.
Yeah,
She just goes away
yeah
for a
she
bit
probably
and comes back.
probably
Yeah,
turned
it's
her
fine.
mic off or something.
It's fine.
No.
Hey man. So yeah, I've had a very interesting June thus
Well, yeah, you
far.
know what? Congratulations because you finished the school year.
I did.
Uh,
Yes, the school year is done.
yeah,
It is
without
complete.
anything bad happening. That's good, right?
Correct. Nothing bad occurred. Nothing bad occurred.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I had a couple days of legit brokenheartedness because I really enjoyed class this year, so that kind of sucked. But I got over that, so that's good. Um, I've begun a super secret project that you saw me talking with Jason about,
I
if you
saw.
recall what I was talking with Jason about. So that's going to begin earnest on Friday tomorrow. Um, got a couple of tires on my car, but then I got a flat tire. So
On the new
so check this
tire?
out. Yeah, no. Check this out. So what day was it? What's today? Thursday? Yeah, so yesterday. Yesterday morning I wake up. No, this is Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning I wake up and I go outside because I got a blood work appointment or whatever. And my left rear tire is flat. Just flat. Whatever. All right, fine. Kind of sucks, but whatever. So I get the damn thing off, jack the car up, get the damn thing off, busting my balls because I'm doing it all manually. It's fine. It's fine. Then I open up the trunk, start getting at the spare. And like the little cap that there's like a screw that goes in, and then there's a
Yeah,
cap
on
that
the
holds the.
stem, right? On the
Yeah,
stem. No,
exactly.
or oh no, you're talking
Yeah,
about
the
the
stem.
hubcap. Oh,
Huh?
for the air stick thing.
No. For the spare to keep it in the trunk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
I've got
don't
like a little
know.
four door sedan. You open the trunk, you pull up the cheap cardboard thing that is the trunk bed, and then you unscrew that cap. So I'm unscrewing the cap, and it's a bitch and a half, right? And I finally get it all the way up, and it stops. It's stuck. It just won't turn. I'm turning it. I'm turning it. I get some pliers out. I'm like, all right, we're gonna get some leverage on this thing, and I strip the cap. So the cap's turning, and the screw is not turning. So my car is up. The wheel is off. The spare is in the back seat, or the spare is in the trunk, and it's stuck. And I'm just like, son of a bitch. I wish I would have. I wish I, next I should have looked. But this now marks the second time in my life I've had a spare go bad in
Hmm.
some way. This time it got stuck years ago. It was a flat spare. Pull the spare out, get it on, everything's ready to go. Put it down, flat.
Jeez.
I I
Uh,
mean, does that happen a lot? Am I just unlucky? Am I just a
You're just
bitch? Like,
unlucky. You're just unlucky.
yeah,
Hey, what's up,
and
Lisa? You back?
yeah,
yep.
it's
All
got to
right.
be it.
Sorry about
It's got
that.
to be it. So it's not that big of a deal. I put the tire back on, right? I put it all back together, or whatever. Put it down. Call up roadside assistance. Hey, can you tow my car? And young feller comes out. He's real nice. Throws it up on the truck. He's like, "Ah, man, that sucks." I'm like, "Ah, shit happens." He's like, "All right, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Should have the car back tomorrow." Got it put in late yesterday. So you know, That
You
was
go.
this week.
Mhm.
Oh, I also have a couple of things locally that I'm now involved in. I've been officially added to a board in a
Wow.
organization that does historical and like restoration type stuff for the
That's cool. Like
county.
local history stuff. What's
Yeah.
like? I was going to ask you a stupid question that would have been like a doxing question.
Yeah,
Like, what is the
you can't
local
dox,
history
can't
there? And I'm like, well, I live right
Mhm.
next
See,
to
in
blah blah blah.
1762, Columbus,
Yeah.
Columbus the third.
I'm-
No, so like I'll talk vaguely about it, obviously, because Pull's no docs. So yeah, I'm on that board, which is kind of great. And then I'm probably going to get added to another one for the theater, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
That
Yeah,
is cool.
there's some bullshit going on with the theater at the moment, and they find my Fistonian tone of writing to be helpful. So I'm going to be helping them with that.
That's amazing. I went to
Yeah.
a dance recital on Saturday.
Oh.
It was my daughter's dance studio, and I really enjoy it because it's like first it's super long, but it's everybody from like the little kids all the way to the high school kids, and there's even some like a few kids that like I guess are adults now, but they graduate and have gone on to like dance schools in New York and stuff, and they come back and they help choreograph, and some of them are like just really talented, and it's just I enjoy watching dance. I actually like really like they do like ballet and hip hop and all that different stuff. I actually kind of like a lot of the hip hop kind of interpretive type stuff. Ballet, I enjoy ballet, but like I enjoy like the hype. Ballet is one of those things where it's great when it's like amazing.
My oldest does Ukrainian dance. He's
See, that's
really
cool.
good.
That's
Like
cool.
he's the I don't know if he's the youngest right now, but when he was first put into the adult group, he was the youngest, if I'm remembering right. But they're like it's divided by age usually, but also if they feel that you could pull off one of the higher like levels of the dances that they do, they'll bump you up. And so that's what happened to him. So he's been in the adult ensemble for a couple of years now, I think. His season ended in May. I think, Mother's Day was his recital, and it's always really, really neat seeing him on the stage. And when he was really little, we did like one thing of ballet, but he wasn't into that one, and so we went and we did Ukrainian dance, which it's really weird that that's how it happened, because like I am not a dancer. My husband my sister-in-law did tap and jazz. Apologies for my dog barking.
It's fine. Mine's gonna probably join too.
And so he does Ukrainian dance, which is really, really neat because for one, it's a cultural thing, and it's allowed him to meet some really interesting people. Since the war started, they do a lot of like fundraisers for the war effort over in Ukraine, I guess. Yeah. But so that's interesting, and it exposes him to a lot of
art and like physicality and like that kind of stuff. It's interesting.
And he like the costumes, and like he has to wear different costumes depending on what regional dance they're doing. So he gets to dress all sorts of fun ways. Big poofy pants for some, less poofy pants for others. Red embroidery for some and blue embroidery for others, or whatever. And he wears like the big old sash on a lot of them. Yeah. And what's really cool about
you can't half-ass it, right? You cannot half-ass it, because if you don't, like if you're young, like, so I'm gonna interject with a quick story about my daughter. So she had two dances because she was in two different classes, and they did two dances. And of course they have the competition teams, which are like super amazing, but she's not at that level yet. But for one of her dances, she kept on being sick, and it was like especially during like the whole Lent and the whole Easter season, she missed a bunch of days, and she kind of like fucked off on like practicing that dance for a little bit, and like the last week they did like a rehearsal, and she's like, oh my god, I don't know it 100%.
Yeah.
She did not feel really comfortable about it, but she like realized, oh, and my wife was like, well, you should have practiced more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, and she's like, she cried about it and stuff, but then she spent a bunch of days all night practicing by herself, and she pulled it off,
Yeah.
like I was like, good job.
Yeah.
Do you dance, Fisto? Do you dance?
I do not. I'll pretend to.
Oh my gosh! I have
at a wedding.
I used to do some
dance.
goth dancing.
Not a dancer.
No, I have no dancing.
I did some goth dancing, and like I would catch bats. I would hold them close to my chest.
Wait.
Release
Goth
the bats.
Dancing.
You know, goth dancing, like where you look up a little bit and you catch the bats that are flying around. You pull them close to your chest. You let them out.
Oh.
Then you step over your dead friends.
When you said look up, I immediately thought of like the Charlie Brown Christmas special dance.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you though, man, if I could go back in time to like my like middle school, pre-teen self, I'd be like, you know what, I'm getting to dance. I wouldn't mind being like the one dude in like a
there's always more chicks than dudes, no matter what. Like even in the like my son's Ukrainian dance thing, there's a lot of guys who do it, but there's still like way more girls who are in it.
Like you get to like get all super strong and like yoked up.
Well, the cool thing about it is that like the male dances in Ukrainian dance or Russian dance, like a lot of these like niche cultural dance things, folk dances, it's like how male peacocks are
right
more show offy. So like he has to do the thing where I don't know the names of the dances. He knows the names of the dances where you like, you crouch down and you kick your legs out, or like you jump through the air and do like a kind of a somersault with your legs without touching anything. And they're swinging each other around, and he's swinging girls around and doing all these like physical stuff. There's a couple dances that he does with like, there's one with swords, there's one with staves, there's
like a log. There's a Russian dances. One that, there's like a Russian one that involves like logs, and like lifting logs and stuff like that.
yeah, it's so funny.
It's pretty cool. Actually, like Otavia has like a bunch of videos of like the different dances and like
I like those. They're fun to watch.
Cossack dances and stuff, and it's just even like other like
he has a Cossack dance costume. Yeah, with like a silly hat and all this stuff. Yeah, and like a fake leather belt.
Yeah, I have like this like real like vivid memory of when I was like 5 years old or something like that in Eastern Europe, and I remember like we saw like a traveling like it was like the Bolshoi ballet, and they were doing all these crazy like traditional Russian dances, and they were in Romania for some reason, and this is like during communist times, and these guys, like, I just remember like being so impressed by how they could like jump on their like toe knuckles. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my god, these guys are nuts,
Yeah.
And I just think it's cool. I think it's an interesting art form. And dance is like, to me, it's a very alien art form because I feel like sometimes like, especially with like, it made me think a lot because especially with like my post surgery, I feel like really stiff and like awkward, and it's like, oh, these people are using like their body as an art form, to communicate,
and they have to make it look easy.
And exactly. And I was watching, like, I was thinking about like what I was watching, like the kids that were like, well, the dancers that were just amazing versus the ones that are like still building up. And there's some of these girls that are like 9 years old and they're doing like double flips and like all these crazy acrobatic moves and stuff, right? But they're still not like, there's still something missing. They're technically fantastic, but there's something missing, right? While the older ones have that missing piece, or the ones that like are like peak, right? And you can see them, the ones that are going to go on to like the School of Dance in New York and stuff. And what I realized was that what was missing is the younger ones had the technique down, but they didn't have the in between. So they had like individual moves down, but they didn't like connect them like as well, or there wasn't a flow between each individual move, while the older dancers like are just like water, you know, like a wave
Mhm.
where like you can't see where an old move ends and a new one starts, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Yeah.
And then I was thinking about that, and because I was watching him, I was thinking about that, and I was like, well, that's like in a lot of art, actually. That's
Mhm.
in writing, you know. It's like how you can be like technically proficient and do really, you know, peak technical sentence writing, paragraph writing, but if you don't connecting the whole, it
Mhm.
becomes kind of jilted. A lot of like late 20th century stuff, like Don DeLillo's like White Noise kind of feels like that to me, where
Yeah.
everybody says, "Oh, it's great," but on the line level, I think it's pretty good. But I think once you kind of pull back, it kind of doesn't flow together. It kind of bores me. It feels kind of
Uh,
stilted in a way.
I liked Libra way better than White Noise. White Noise was all right. Like I read it, I enjoyed it, but Libra was so good. Oh my gosh, what a good book.
I have to
I
give
haven't read
it.
anything else. I've only read the 2 by him.
I have to give Libra a try. And
Mhm.
but I was thinking, yeah, I was thinking about that. You see that in movies too. Like sometimes you have great
Yeah.
directors that are like they do great individual scenes, but have no good
Yeah.
connection.
And sometimes the entire movie is dependent on having a good editor too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Editing is
Definitely.
super important in film
Yeah.
because it has to, one shot has to flow to another one. And you can see that sort of, okay, so you ever see, came out a few years ago, 1917, with the kid from Game of Thrones in it?
Yeah, that's the World War I movie, right?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not actually one continuous shot, but they do a lot of camera tricks and editing tricks to make it look like one continuous shot. They do a really good job. But
Right.
you can kind of tell, like, when the character goes behind, like, a dark, you know, wooden beam or something, and then, you know, that's when they might cut or something. They do a really, really good job. It is a good movie. But yeah, edit, like, that's an example of how editing has to be very smooth in film. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. There's and it is like we were just saying, like, to make it look easy. Like a good writer makes it look easy, but
Right.
it's not. Like, we know as writers that, you know, the author could have labored over every single word in a paragraph, right, on every single page. We know that, but like the average reader has no idea.
Right.
I think that's
It
one of the
feels like
problems with
fast.
everybody thinking that they can write a book. And now with, like, you know, AI and
Anything.
shit, and they think that
Right.
they, you know, are writing a book. No, you're not. You're not.
Right.
And like
That's the thing.
most people who say they're going to write a book don't, right? Because
Which,
it is hard.
which is interesting
Yeah.
because so I don't know if you guys I haven't seen the movie yet. I went and saw a movie today. I saw I saw it's not really a movie. It's basically like the last 2 episodes of this YouTube / Netflix show called The Amazing Digital Circus,
Mhm.
which is currently like my favorite obsession right now. And I highly recommend for anybody listening to hop on YouTube and watch The Amazing Digital Circus. It's inspired by I Have No Mouth, but I'm a Scream.
Oh yeah.
And it's like a trip. It's like the weirdest show, and it's got a lot of deep themes. And it anyways, it was about 2 hours of just sadness. It was the end of the show, and it was a very
Mhm.
kind of depressing, dark ending. Some bittersweetness to it, but I thought it was really good. But I know that the big deal right now in film or in the movie conversation is the back rooms, right? And that's
I have absolutely no idea anything about this. My kids are talking about it, or they have, because they're aware of the whole backrooms thing. Was it like a creepypasta or some shit?
yeah. So the
But
back
I'm just like, I don't care. And then the movie comes out, and now I'm seeing it everywhere. So the movie, I guess, must be half
so
decent.
it is a big deal. Are you familiar with it, Fisto? He did. So for you guys that are listening that don't know anything about the back rooms
Mhm.
or where it comes from, it is like a creepypasta type thing.
A
So
lot of video game stuff, like video game
yes and no.
things,
It actually comes out of Mark
isn't it?
Fisher stuff. Okay, so are you familiar with Mark Fisher stuff? Um,
No.
there's Mark Fisher was that British philosopher. He unexisted himself by swallowing a bullet a few years ago, like maybe
Oh.
a decade ago. He wrote a bunch of stuff about like post-capitalism hyper capitalism. He wrote Exiting the Vampire Castle. That was one of the things he wrote. He did a lot of stuff, very interesting stuff, kind of like a post-liberal, post-capitalist writer out of England. He was connected to that same group of people that what's that crazy philosopher's what's his name? I can't remember right now. I'm like nicotine fog, right? You know, the guy that like believes that like Cthulhu monsters are going to kill us all, and he's crazy. He's on Twitter a lot. He wrote Fang Numina. Anyways, so it comes out of that thing, and there's a lot of like.
Okay.
You back?
Yes, I'm back. I don't know what happened. I apologize.
Yeah.
But yes,
Nick Land, right? This, so. In the chat, Vizier said Nick Land, right? So yeah, Mark Fisher. Yes. Mark Fisher and Nick Land were part of the same like university thing. They did a bunch of drugs. Nick Land survived. He ended up moving to Cambodia or somewhere like that. Now he posts crazy shit on Twitter. Mark Fisher, though, he killed himself. And I've read actually a lot of his essays. He used to run like a website, like a blog, like an early, like I think it was like a WordPress or live journal type thing. And he wrote a bunch of stuff, but a lot of that in that era, this is like the 2000s era kind of stuff. There was this obsession with kind of like the liminal space, right? Like the in-between space. And it was really big on like different message boards and that type of thing. And Nick Land and that crowd and that like proto kind of Reddit kind of crowd would talk about liminal spaces. They would post pictures of liminal spaces. The idea of the eerie and the idea of I'll tell you right now, I'll show you guys. There's Mark Fisher wrote a book called he wrote a book called The Weird and the Eerie, which is an interesting book. I read it. It talks about like the idea of things being weird and things being eerie, right? So like something that's weird is something that like is just not right or doesn't belong where it is. And something that is eerie is something that is correct, but in the wrong context. Yeah. Right. So like, you know, you've got like a playground at night. And if you see a kid playing in a playground at night, there's nothing out of the ordinary about that. It's the context that makes it weird. Right. And that kind of stuff. So it's like kind of like that. It's basically that book itself, and those ideas are like the philosophy of horror fiction or the philosophy of horror. But this is all tied into hypercapitalism, how we are in a post-capitalist, hyper-capitalist kind of world where we're completely consumed by these ideas. And on one of these message boards, these guys started posting. Some rando posted like a picture of like they were posting liminal spaces, and this was like really popular a few years, maybe 10 years ago, where people kept on posting like pictures of an abandoned mall. Like the abandoned mall is like the liminal space, right? Or like some weird stuff. And somebody posted a picture of like an abandoned office space, and that kind of people started writing crazy creepypasta and stories about this.
They make Minecraft maps for backroom type activities. Like there's actually a pretty strong community of like Minecraft horror.
There is and also the other one, the one that my daughter plays, the stupid the other one, the other block one that's annoying. Roblox, but yeah, so the idea is that like it is this perpetually stuck in weird 1998. So like if you look at any type of like backroom type of stuff, it's always stuck in 1998 because that was like the peak of like American hypercapitalism, if you want to kind of do it right. And it's like this corporate chic, corporate effort. Everything, nothing matters. It's like disposable, like IKEA furniture. It's that gray, yellowish kind of bland thing. And these guys are posting all these crazy stories online. And one of these dudes was this guy Kane. And Kane, I think he's 20 years old. So he started doing this like when he was like 12 or something. And he started making videos, and they became really popular. Basically horror videos, using like the free programs and that kind of stuff. And it got to the point where he got really popular, and A24 guys were like, "Hey, you want to make a movie?" They let this 20-year-old make a freaking movie, And I think the budget was ultra low. Let me look it up. I'm kind of curious what the budget for the budget for Backrooms. Oh man, let me find it. About 10 million. It had a $10 million production.
I was going to say, I think it would be probably pretty low.
Right, and this is financed by A24, right? And let's see how much money they've made. And they made something ludicrous, right? Oh, it earned, so far it's been out for like a week, right? It earned 118 million off of a $10 million budget, right? So it's kind of a big deal, right? Yeah, Jason's right on the chat. He said it was a 4chan post, but it's the idea of the Backrooms, like I said, it's not like one person came up with it, okay? It was a bunch of different people on different message boards, pictures. It was a combination of a lot of different ideas, like I said. And some of the key ideas were liminal space ideas. There's a lot of hypercapitalism ideas and the people that were coming up with these kind of stories were in those same kind of circles where they understood the creepy, like, mall and that type of stuff. But it's really interesting is that, and I connected to because I went and saw The Amazing Digital Circus. And The Amazing Digital Circus is kind of also a Backrooms type thing. Instead of being stuck in like this like in-between space, they're stuck in a decaying like 1998 video game run by a decaying AI. Right? So they're basically stuck in like what looks like a crappy, late 90s, early 2000s, early 3D video game. And everything like that, the logic in it is very much like the late 90s video game. And it's very, there actually is a Backrooms kind of scene in the show. And this show came out like it started 2 years ago, just ended, where like the open doors and they're like in this weird office building kind of thing, which is the same kind of Backrooms idea. And it also was a YouTube only video, show that now is in theaters. So it's also starts small budget, works its way up to being a big budget thing, and it's still completely independent. And it's very interesting that the movie Backrooms makes a huge amount of money. And then there's another movie, I think it was Obsession, that was also like a low budget kind of indie movie that made a bunch of money also.
Yeah. And
it's completely smoking like the big Hollywood movies. When I think that's an amazing thing, right?
This is a good thing, yeah.
But then you get
definitely.
And I'm sitting here, right? I'm looking at these things, and there's people online. They're like, "Well, Kane, ironically enough, Kane with the Kane, is the guy that made the movie The Backrooms. Well, the evil AI in the Amazing Digital Circus, his name is Kane, but it's Kane like the biblical Kane. So I think it's pretty funny. In the chat. Publius Americus says that he heard from fans of the Amazing Digital Circus that the ending disappoints. I don't think so. I think it was absolutely amazing, right? It disappoints if you are a kind of like a low IQ person that needs to have everything tied up, right? And that I was going to talk about that too. The ending doesn't tie everything up. It's not neat. It's not nice. And there's this constant thing where people that become obsessed with the show or like are really big fans of shows or books or something like that, they want this like perfect, neat ending, like where everything is like put in the right proper box and everything is put into, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nothing's left.
So not the Laura Palmer scream. That's
right.
Yeah. Okay.
And exactly, not the Laura Palmer scream, not that stuff. And a lot of people are having a hard time with it. And I think people misunderstood, because I read some of the reviews of people. I'm like, I think you're misunderstanding what the show was about or what the core of it, and the core of it was this, and they were focused on kind of side things. You know what I mean? Like they wanted, like, I'm trying to explain it without spoiling it. They wanted this like plot resolution when the show's not about the plot. It's about this emotional level. It's about meaning, like what is the meaning of the individual in this situation, and you don't get the plot resolution because there can't be a plot resolution,
Mhm.
because on the plot level the ending sucks because the world sucks. If that makes sense, right? Like
Well,
you can't,
go ahead.
right, you can't resolve it because the way it's written from the very very beginning, and I saw it coming, like it was, people were theorizing that, and it was the only logical way to really figure it out. It makes sense because the ending is always going to be bad on one
Mhm.
level. It was like the bittersweetness that was the whole point of it. I was like, while it sucks, at least we enjoy the journey. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And people just have a hard. I noticed people have a hard time with endings. Period.
Yeah.
They're hard to write, but they're also hard. But I thought it executed well. But back to Backrooms. I diverge because I'm into this conversation now. In Backrooms, I haven't seen it yet, so it could be crappy. I don't know. I might hate it. I'll probably go see it soon. The problem I've noticed is that people are saying, "Oh, Kane, blah blah blah. He's a nepo baby," and I'm like, "What? How's this
You know
dude a
what? If
nepo
I was a
baby?"
nepo baby, do you know how thrilled I'd be?
Right.
Like, I would absolutely take advantage of that.
First, there's nothing wrong with nepo baby, but I guess his dad worked for Telltale Games.
Mhm.
He was one of the guys that worked for Telltale Games, and he got laid off or whatever. And he, like, his family always supported him, got him stuff, and bought him like everything, like all the software and stuff, right? And people are like, well, if my dad was like a fast food worker, I wouldn't be making movies. Like, yeah, you're right. It sucks. I'm sorry, bro. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, guess what? Like, maybe you could learn. To me, like the idea of the nepo baby thing is really absurd, right? Like, first of all, your goal is to make your child a nepo baby. If you're
Mhm.
not making your children nepo babies, you failed at life as
Mhm.
a parent, in my opinion, right? Like, I am going to support every single, like, if, like, my daughter's dances right now, and she probably doesn't even have like any desire to become like a professional dancer, but if she does, is she a nepo baby because my middle class ass works my ass off so I can afford all her dance stuff? Is she a nepo baby? Yeah, I give her more than, I don't know, somebody that works at Waffle House is doing for their kids, but that's not my problem, and that's definitely not her problem. That's what we're supposed to do. The idea that you're not supposed to give your kids a heads up, it is the most civilizationally broken idea that for some reason we've adopted. And where does
Mhm.
that come from, guys? Where does that idea come from?
Boomers.
It's
Quality.
it's
It's all about
disgusting.
equality. Yes, you have to make it on your own, which
Yeah.
is going to allow us to steal everything that your parents did. But never
Yeah.
mind that. It's you don't want to be a nepo baby. It's
Mhm.
it's stupid. It's just dumb.
Right. Well, it's crazy because, like, you know what? Yes, some people do have a heads up.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, everything you do is about being in the right place at the right time. If you're
Yeah.
born Sophia Coppola, well, guess what? You're born at the right time. You know what I mean,
Yeah.
right?
A lot of
Yeah.
it's just envy. A lot of it's just envy.
Well, it's
Right.
like film school itself. Okay, so like, for example, right now, my oldest, he's in high school and he has a film project he's working on right now, and he has discovered that he's having fun with it, and he even said, because I think longtime listeners of the show know that I'm a film school dropout, right? So I have some experience with that sort of thing. And so he's like, well, what if I took film? And I'm like, well, basically everything that you ever need to learn is on YouTube. However, making connections in the industry is why you go to school. Like, that is like the big thing. You will get jobs directly from school if you go and you make connections and you work hard and do a good job. Whereas if you learn everything on YouTube, you're basically like, yeah, you and your friends can, fart around and make a movie or whatever. But it's going to be a lot harder getting your home movie into the circuit, what do they call
Right.
that?
The festival circuit.
Festival circuit, yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that sort of thing. It's all about connections, and the same with publishing too. Like everything in the arts is all about connections, right? But especially in film, it's all about who you know. It's which can be very frustrating for people who are trying to break into film. But that's just the reality. You gotta know people. You gotta
Right.
make connections.
Because movies cost millions of dollars to
Yep.
make.
And
Okay.
they're a very large group project.
Right. And
So
I think,
if
yeah,
you aren't someone that people want to work with, you're gonna have
Yeah.
a hard time finding jobs. So going to school proves that you're someone that people want to work with because you've, at least passed the classes. Every single project in film school is a group project. So,
right.
yeah, that's what I said to him. I said, if you do want to do film, it's less about learning. I mean, you learn the equipment, you learn how movies are put together. You have to learn how to do sound, you got to learn how to do editing, you got to learn how to do cinematography, you got to learn a little bit of everything. But then you're most likely going to be like a boom operator or a key grip or some shit. But it's still an into the industry, whereas technically you can learn everything on YouTube, but it's not the best way to like actually break into film.
Right. Well, I mean, if you were to go to any type of art school or any
Yeah.
school based on,
Hmm.
media, visual arts, that kind of stuff, you should go into that school like basically knowing 90% of everything, like at least the basics or even more, right?
Hmm.
Like you should have like a vision and an idea already. What
Yeah.
you're going to get at those schools are one, you're going to hopefully, if it's a good place and you have good, instructors and and the workshops and stuff, you're going to get stuff that you never would have bothered with, and it's going to force you to do
Yeah.
stuff, you know what I mean, right? Like you're going to like learn programs or like equipment and stuff that you might not want to deal with, like I remember like when I started going to college and I was studying fine art, I hated like a lot of like charcoal type stuff. I never liked using I never liked
Hmm.
big charcoal
I
drawings.
like charcoal.
And
I
I
do
had a
several times.
class where that's all we did, just giant like compressed or like vine charcoal drawings.
Hmm.
And after being forced to do that for like a few months, I was like, man, I actually really love doing these big drawings. And I
Hmm.
really love messing around with like the big, like charcoal and stuff, and
Hmm.
instead of just paint.
I haven't
And
done charcoal in years, but yeah,
yeah,
it's fun.
and like or digital stuff or different programs, like you like learn how to do
Hmm.
stuff that breaks your kind of like, because when you learn on your own, like on YouTube or whatever, you just do what you want to do. You tend to like practice the same move over and over in a way.
Yeah, you
Like
stay in your
Mm.
comfort zone. Yeah.
yeah, right. You stay in your comfort zone, and you're not forced to, kind of break out and kind of experiment. It might not even be worth it, right? But really, the whole point is exactly that: is like you meet people, like listen, like the reason you go to any art school, you become an apprentice to somebody, is that you meet the people that are gonna like be like, hey man, this guy's really good. Let's invite him to our
Yeah.
show. You know what I mean? Or this guy's like, he's interesting. He's got potential. Let's bring him in, as the fourth person, or, let's bring him in to help us with the movie and stuff like that. And it's like
Yeah.
little things like that,
So
right?
many people break into the industry just by showing up at a film shoot and being willing to work. Like, I mean, I don't know how it is now, but that's how it was for many, many, many years. Guys who would just like show up, give me a job, okay. Especially like special effects, things like that. I think that's one of the reasons why, whether or not you believe ADHD is a thing or just like a personality type or whatever, but the film industry is full of people with that sort of like like a hyper puppy dog kind of like, I have to work in a high stress environment or else I can't function. It has to be high stress all the time, and I'm willing to do the thing. Give me the thing that
Right.
makes me excited to work, right? So things like the special effects crew or set design or costuming or like all these millions of jobs that people don't see when they're watching a film. Like it's a group project. They tend to attract a certain type of person, and
Right.
which I think is actually like not like haha funny, but I just think it's interesting on like a psychological kind of way.
Right. Well, what's shocking is that when you look at a movie and you look at a good movie, like a
Yeah.
great movie, you're like, man, that movie's so great. You have a lot of people that are like, oh, the movie, when a movie sucks or a movie flops or is just kind of mid, people are like, oh man, I could probably do better or blah blah blah. Why did they do this? I don't think people have even the slightest clue of how much work it goes into a movie. Like, imagine being a director. You have to get this movie done in a time frame. You got a bunch of producers that are telling you, hey bro, you're wasting money. Money's running out. Money's running out. You don't have money.
It's always about money. Yeah.
Money.
Money.
You have to pay money to be able to shoot places. You need permits. Oh, those only last for one day or blah, 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 or something like, oh, look, you're shutting down downtown Los Angeles. Guess what? That costs like $5 million to do that.
Yeah. And that's why everything's made in Vancouver and Toronto instead.
Right. And you got 5 hours.
No, guys, I saw this YouTube video where all I have to do is, it's a joke. Yeah. No.
You got 5 hours to film this scene, but your one of your actors has like viral gastroenteritis from making out with like the toilet bowl at a bar the night before.
Yeah.
Barfing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you've got 2 hours to make this shot, or else you're going to run out of the correct angle of sun. So you better up to it. Yeah. Yeah. It's a very stressful environment.
Oh, and it's cloudy.
The amazing part is that movies get made at all, or like great movies got made at all.
It's like, the fact that any movie gets made at all. Yeah, that's exactly correct. It's actually fucking fantastic that movies exist as an art form at all. You know what we were watching last night? So now that my son has discovered, and it's really funny because his mother is a huge film fan. We have lots of physical copies of movies all over the house. He's grown up where I've always been a film fan, but he hasn't really like figured out his own tastes for himself yet. But I think he's starting to develop that. And like, he's going to be 16 soon. And so last night he's like, Mom, can we watch Clockwork Orange? I'm like, are you sure? Okay. I was like, I used to watch Clockwork Orange with my kid. So we did talk about movies that are probably age inappropriate, but I think I was around that age when I first watched it.
Yeah.
So that leads to he's already been a huge fan of, like, one of his favorite movies is 2001. So he already knows who Kubrick is. We watched The Shining. We've watched 2001. I think this is his third Kubrick film, and so I've had many conversations with him about how he makes a movie and like why he's one of the biggest names in film history. Like, if he goes to film school, he's definitely so like, I think anybody listening, even if you're not a film nerd, you've probably either seen The Shining or 2001, or at least almost all of his movies have been referenced 100 billion times. Like, if you've ever watched The Simpsons, there's tons of references. Like when we were watching Clockwork Orange, and there's assuming everybody's seen it, it's not a huge spoiler. There's a scene where the camera is overhead and there's a naked woman on a stage, and the main character is down on his knees looking up, and there's boobs. There's a scene in a Simpsons episode where Bart is reaching up to these cupcakes, and it's like a complete like copy of the film. I think The Simpsons has done a few. They've done several Kubrick references
from Clockwork Orange. The whole like eyeball like reprogramming thing. Not only Simpsons, but like almost every single thing. There's like multiple references to 2001: Space Odyssey in Digital Circus, actually.
Yeah,
they even in Digital Circus, there's a part where they sing the Daisy Bell song.
Oh yeah,
I don't know, like you know what I'm talking about, the Daisy Bell song, right?
Yeah, that's the one that Hal sings, right?
Yeah.
It's the one that Hal sings. Yeah, so it's
the one he was originally taught to sing.
Yeah, and then the AI is like singing it to people, and then the two characters sing it to people. But it's also the actual reference, the Hal reference, the Hal singing it is also a reference. Also, because it's one of the first music like compositions performed by a computer in like
Yep.
the early 60s.
That's right.
That's
Yep.
why Hal sings it in the first place. And it's like a multi-layered postmodern double reference, basically.
Every single
The
freaking
best.
and I have to shut my mouth as I'm watching a movie with my kids. Like when we're watching it for the first time, I have to like keep my mouth shut because like I want to autistically blab about like every fucking nerd thing. And so, but like, so I have to wait. I have to wait until the movie is over, or if I have to pause the movie and let the dog out or something, like whatever, right? I have to wait. It can be very difficult to do, but anyway. So, and I'm explaining to my son about like, okay, do you see how he's color blocked this shot, right? Like this is so intentional. Like how like every single thing in a frame of any of his movies, every single thing in the frame is intentional, and like no other director is that freaking hyper specific. It's mind blowing how, for one, how any movie is made at all, and B, how any of his movies were ever made. That's why he had to go to Britain, because he couldn't work underneath like an American production company. There's no fucking way. So he had to go to Britain to make a bunch of movies.
Which is funny. I mean, his last movie, Eyes Wide Shut, takes place in New York, but it's actually just a studio set because
even Full Metal Jacket was filmed in the UK, but it's very convincingly in the States. Like he does a really good job.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering right, maybe
I think you're right. I think Full Metal
Jacket. I think it was filmed
in
the UK. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about crazy movie productions, Apocalypse Now.
My gosh,
Coppola's
that movie was almost not made.
Charlie Sheen had like a freaking heart attack during the movie. Like people almost died and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they're out there in Cambodia. Like I think it was filmed in Cambodia, and it's like they're stuck in Cambodia, and it's like they're getting malaria. It's just like this misery. Can you imagine how much work trying to get like Navy patrol boats down a river in Cambodia and get these helicopter shots and stuff? It's like what a nut movie.
And then Marlon Brando shows up and he doesn't give a single shit. He's like towards the end of his career, right? He doesn't give a fuck.
Fat and disgusting.
And so so he refuses to do the things he's supposed to do in his role and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, well, we got to film this. That's why. And it ends up looking really, really cool. But that's why all the shots of his character are like barely lit at all. Like you can only just like see his face. The fact that's one of those movies where it's like the fact that it was even fucking made is like actually astounding. It's a really good story.
I mean, he made stuff up in, yeah.
It's just making me laugh because there's no YouTube video on how to get Marlon Brando how to do what you want.
Psychopath. Dude.
Well, like one of the things that we learned like right off the bat, in film school, like before I dropped out, so it was right off the bat, right? Anyway, one of the things you learned is how to direct people, and there's multiple different types of people, and you have to learn how to get the best performance out of all of them. Now at that point we weren't learning how to direct, we were learning how to like operate a fucking movie camera and shit. And at that time, this is how old I am, it was still film. We were still using film cameras, the little Bolex. I miss the little Bolex and having to wind it. Anyway,
you have to understand
they've since gone to digital. I think I was one of the last years that had to do film. Anyway, that's besides the point. But a good director knows how to get a performance out of their actors.
Correct. And that's actually just a leadership thing, right? Because in the military or whether in business and stuff, the most important thing, and I learned this over 20 years of being in charge of people, having people in charge of me, being in bigger organizations and small ones. The most important, one of the most important things I've learned is that you have to understand people. The leaders that have the best success rates are leaders that have a high level of empathy and can understand what the person wants, or what even if they don't know it themselves, you know what I mean, or what they're good at, and finding the right person for the job is the key, and when you read about stuff like that, when you read about situations where everything seems to come together and it's just perfect.
Yeah.
And it just works. It's like just a magic situation. It's such a cool thing. Like if you a good example is True Detective season 1. You have like Matthew McConaughey, you have the writer, and then you have that director, and all the scenes and settings and everything kind of came together, and it was just magic for one season of the show.
Yep.
And HBO was behind it. Everybody threw everything, and then after that, it just went to shit. It didn't work anymore because like the director left.
When this, well, I mean, okay, so let's look at The Simpsons again. As soon as a lot of the original like writers and whatever left, like it became a completely different show. Completely different show. And like
of itself.
I was gonna say something, I don't remember. It had nothing to do with The Simpsons. Shoot. Oh yeah, one of the examples that we were given is like, some people you have to say, please, can you do your performance? Can you please just try? And okay, I'll try a little harder. And sometimes you have to be like, do your fucking performance. Go to the line. Or go to the X, say the line. You have to be, and you have to learn what kind of people respond to different, but like the director also has their directors of photography, which are the guys that are actually like doing like the shots. And if those visions mesh, you get like a fucking beautiful film. And then there's also the cases where like a director has they become like a meme because the director and the actor, like everybody makes fun of like Tim Burton and Johnny Depp, right? Like that's one of the big, like everybody makes fun of that. But if they make a good team, they make a good team. Same with like Coen Brothers and
Billy Bob Thornton.
I remember his name now.
Not Billy Bob Thornton. What's his name?
Jeff
Steve
Bridges.
Buscemi.
There's one.
Steve Buscemi is in it, but Steve
Not Jeff
Buscemi.
Goldblum. He was in Roseanne. The husband of Roseanne.
Oh,
what the hell is his name?
Yeah. What's his name?
John Goodman.
John Goodman. Yeah.
And Steve Buscemi, guys. Steve Buscemi is like in like half their movies.
Yeah. So there's certain directors will have certain actors back over and over and over again because they work well together. Because having a good team that you can depend on.
Show up to work.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll do the Coke afterwards. Okay. Like, let's get this show, and they can explain. To me, it makes sense. And a lot of times, like when people talk about like the publishing industry or writing and stuff in general, they always forget that like it in a way, it is a club. Right. And it's like, I think we had this conversation about the Lisa Libes thing where she's always talking crap about it, and it's like,
yet so desperate to be part of it. Like, it's kind of like weird. I had to mute her a while ago because I blocked
her also. But it's like, maybe those agents don't like you. Like, do you remember? Like,
maybe if you didn't shit on them constantly on the internet, they might sign you. Like, you have to be good to work with too,
Right.
Or just accept the fact that you're going to be self-publishing your book. Like, just get over it,
Yeah. What's crazy is that like, people go like, oh, these agents are, and I'm like, listen, like, first of all, the whole thing is done to me. But if I was an agent, my job would be to find somebody. I'm going to like, you have two people that need to work with you forever. Right. You know what I mean? Like an editor and an agent. So that's a lifetime sometimes. Like if you look at some of these great writers, they've had the same editor and agent for 40, 50 years, and if they don't like each other, it's not going to work. If I don't if I don't think in the same way you do, and we can't have a back and forth and that kind of stuff, and we can't go out and have a cup of coffee every few years or something like that, it's not going to work. Who's going to be like, you know what? Let me, tie my life and my financial well-being to this like psycho,
Yeah, some fucking Klaus Kinski or some shit.
Right, exactly.
But they saw a video on YouTube, so maybe I should take a chance.
Right. Yeah. In the chat, Jason asks, has anybody seen Red State? Yes, I have seen Red State, and it is a movie with John Goodman in it, and I believe it is made by the guy that did Pan's Labyrinth, maybe. I think
Del Toro.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen Red State.
And it's basically John Goodman he's living in this like bunker, and it's like the end of the world apocalypse is out there, and this girl
Mhm.
finds her way into this bunker, and she doesn't believe him, and it's like it's kind of like when I was like, is this the end of the world? Is it not? And he doesn't want her to go out, and she starts suspecting that he's just a psycho,
Mhm.
and it's kind of like a long Twilight Zone kind of episode, and then it's am I thinking of Cloverfield Lane? I am thinking of Cloverfield Lane. Red State, man, I'm not now. I'm like doubting myself. I feel like okay.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Yeah, sorry.
It's a Kevin
Alex, I
Smith
haven't seen
movie.
it, but
Okay, Red State is a Kevin Smith movie.
From a Smith movie. How recent is this?
2011.
Okay, so when I stopped caring about Kevin Smith. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like a weird like Christian fundamentalist movie thing.
yeah. So speaking of like independent film, like the '90s had a big moment, and so Kevin Smith was one of the big indie filmmakers, like or indie filmmakers who made it big, right?
Right.
And so he's one of the guys because I was in the early to mid 2000s is when I was, in film and shit. And so everybody in my class wanted to be either the next Kevin Smith or the next Tarantino.
Do you like Kevin Smith?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Do I like Kevin Smith?
His movies.
His movies? When I was a teenager, I really, like Clerks was great. Mallrats, actually, you know what? I would still watch Mallrats. But like his humor hasn't aged very well.
No.
You had to be. It's like his movies are like you had to be there. You know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah.
How about you? Do you like him, Fisto?
I mean, I kind of feel the same way Lisa did. Like, I watched the movies when I was younger, and like, yeah, Kevin Smith. Yeah, let's throw on a Kevin Smith movie. It'll be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't seen Mallrats? Oh, come on.
The Clerks cartoon when that came out, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah,
I thought
now I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna I'm gonna want to watch other shit like Kevin. Like wait, you're watching a Kevin Smith movie, really?
it's such it's interesting because you guys are right. It is like it feels really cringe and dated in a way. I used to think so. I think you and I, Lisa, are like about the same age, and Fisto might be. I think our age range is
I'm the youngest, but we're all '80s babies.
Yeah, we're all '80s babies, right? So we're all like 1 or 2 years apart, right?
Yeah.
I think you're younger than me by 1 or 2 years. Fisto's older than me by 1 or 2 years, and I'm right in the middle. So we're 90s. We're 90s people, basically. We're 90s kids. And I discovered Kevin Smith in middle school. And bro, like me and my friends used to play Dungeons and Dragons, listen to like punk rock music and stuff. And Kevin Smith, like Clerks, was like, what the, like this was like when we were watching Beavis and Butthead, and I thought it was like I thought Clerks and Mallrats were like the funniest things ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought it was like peak. I loved, and then I really liked Chasing Amy. I feel like Chasing Amy is probably the only
Chasing Amy was good.
That might hold up still. I don't know if, in my opinion,
it's funny because like Dogma had so much like controversy and stuff, and then like I don't think it was even brought to streaming at all or anything. I think it might be now. Right. I remember thinking Dogma was funny, but like I didn't have any religious background or anything at the time, so like I wouldn't have found it offensive. I don't know. I think I was too young for Dogma. I didn't really get it. I thought that like the jokes were funny, but like I didn't like get it, if that makes any sense.
Right. I mean, there's a poop in Chris Rock was in it. Alanis Morissette.
Alanis Morissette. Yeah. Talk about you had to be there at the time, because like now who the fuck is Alanis Morissette?
Right. They're like, who's Alanis Morissette?
But
and peak 1995 right there, like one of the best albums of 1995, Jagged Little Pill,
oh my God,
she like completely fell off, like out of all the 90s stuff. There's like no
her album right after Jagged Little Pill was all right, like the one that has that song like Thank You India, Thank You whatever. It was okay.
Yeah.
And then where did she go for that? I don't know. I stopped paying attention to it.
So Jagged Little Pill is the first album I ever bought.
Yep.
I think I was
That's
like
the
in
case
like
for a lot,
third.
a lot
I
of
was like
people I
in
know.
third grade, and like I love Jagged Little Pill. Okay,
Yeah.
I still do. It's a great album. It's like
As a Canadian, you're welcome.
dude, it is a peak album. I mean, Flea plays bass on it.
Yeah.
It's produced like by what's his name, the guy that produces everything, and he was in Garbage.
Mhm.
And it's just peak, man. Like it's a great album. And then
Yeah.
she kind of disappeared, and she went
Yeah.
kind of like that weird. She did that weird Buddhist Hindu thing she did for a while. You know, she
Like
kind of
you.
like late 90s, 2000s, and but yeah, she was in Dogma. But a lot of those bands from the 90s are having kind of a kind of a revival-ish kind of thing, but there's no
It's that whole 30-year cycle where like everybody's getting middle-aged and reminiscing about the bands they listened to way back when. And the same thing happened in the 90s with stuff from the 60s. Remember there was that weird 60s revival in the 90s? Like look at how the Spice Girls dressed. Right out of the 60s.
Well, it was the Austin Powers 2000.
Austin Powers, yep.
Oh god.
Do you guys remember that? That was like that like peak like hippie Austin Powers thing. The whole mod thing. The whole
Madonna
British...
went hippie, yeah.
Yeah, and then she did the cowboy thing, and it was like there's this like little like pocket dimension of time that was really really weird. Right?
Yeah, there was
like
a lot of 60s throwback stuff.
The year before 9/11, like the year of 9/11, basically. It was like it was all crazy stuff like that. Do you guys remember? And maybe this was just my era of like early high school, late middle school, early high school.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that weird era where everybody was into like bowling shirts?
Yes.
And like hot rods? Where like
yes, I do.
Everybody was like wearing bowling shirts with like the hot rod fire and like the dice and skulls and
like
glasses.
Rockabilly shit and
like the martini glasses and stuff. Yeah. Like that was the weirdest era. Everybody looked like it was around the time of like the Big Lebowski too. It was that whole like weird Hollywood vintage thing.
Yeah, there was a few bowling movies. There was Big Lebowski, which wasn't really like a bowling movie, but it featured very strongly. And then there was like Kingpin. You remember that one?
Yeah.
With the freaking Amish bowler. And then oh my gosh, my brain isn't working today with names. Ghostbusters. What the fuck was his name?
Yeah, Guy Fieri is still wearing those outfits. He's still stuck in that weird like late 90s, you know, like he still has that look. And that was like, you know, like a wallet chain, like the baggy like shorts, like the shants or whatever they're called.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Man. Yeah. Smash Mouth. I always think of Smash Mouth too when I think of those shirts.
The bare naked ladies.
Oh yes. Oh yes. What the heck was that band? Oh my gosh! If my husband was listening to me right now, he'd be wanting to slap me in the mouth because for the name that I'm forgetting is like a name that I shouldn't be forgetting. For one, and for two, the name of this freaking band. They were a ska band in the '90s, and they did nothing but covers, but they were all ska covers.
Real Big Fish.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Now the fucking actor's name is going to drive me insane. He was in Ghostbusters. He was in Groundhog Day. You know who the hell I'm talking about?
Bill Murray.
Yes, thank you.
Dan Aykroyd.
Yes.
Yeah, just
so real interesting enough.
Yeah.
Real big
Kingpin
Fish
had Bill Murray in it. That was the only thing I wanted to say, and I couldn't fucking remember his name.
So interesting about both of them. Real Big Fish. Those guys went to my middle school a few years before I did. So they're like my middle school band, you know, that like they graduated from. Everybody's like, oh, Real Big Fish went here, you know.
Must be nice being from California and like being surrounded by all these famous people.
Yeah, and Bill Murray actually lives in Charleston, which is like 45 minutes from here.
Oh, neat.
So like people always like run into him like in Charleston when he and to talk about Nepo babies. Bill Murray was in the best Nepo baby movie of all time, which is Lost in Translation by what's her name, Sofia Coppola, which I love that movie. I don't give a crap what anybody says, and she's awesome. So there we go. Woo, connections.
Yeah.
We need to find out like what that era was, that like bowling shirt martini glass like era.
The Offspring too. That's another band I think of.
You know, what era that was, because it is a dark era. It is a dark cultural era, but maybe it's a good era. I don't know. You know, like.
Well, you know what? Era? The bowling shirt thing is coming back. Same with like the really big fucking like do you guys say Jinko or do you say JNCO jeans?
Jinkos.
Jinkos, yeah.
Jinkos,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, anyway, those are
Yeah.
back, but not like other brands, right?
Yeah, my wife
oh.
saw like she said she saw somebody wearing Jinkos like down the
Yeah.
street.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it's
definitely coming
every
back.
time I go to the mall, I feel like every single store is just filled with like dead stock from the from the 90s and early 2000s. Yeah.
Yeah, bowling shirts with like the fire or like the martini glasses or skulls and dice on them and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
just
what, like,
go into an Urban Outfitters. I can guarantee you'll find something dumb like that.
That's what dudes like wear when they want to dress up to go to the strip club. That's kind of the vibe, you know.
Oh
That's
no,
kind of the vibe. You know what I mean? It's like, hey guys, you want to go out to a nice strip club? We put on my martini flame like shirt, you know. Yeah,
well, remember when they were putting like the like Dragon Ball Z characters on bowling shirts? Remember those days?
Oh yeah,
I remember those days.
Maybe I'll get a free
rather
win
not.
one. If they come back, I'm gonna get a free win one. I'm gonna get walk around with a free win shirt.
Hey, there's probably some fucking factory in China that'll do it up for you like right quick.
Right. Are Juggalos coming back?
Like they never left. They've always been one of those like dark secret underbelly societies, right? So
I mean,
I'm
really not a Midwest. I feel like Juggalos are like a Midwest Canada thing. There weren't a lot of them in California. I had a friend that was into Juggalo stuff, and like he even like imported some like Faygo soda or whatever.
Nice.
But it was like weird. Like there just wasn't. I feel like I didn't know a lot of them in California, but that must be. I feel like Fista was probably a Juggalo. Like
no, not at all. No.
You were a nut cutter.
I was never a juggalo, I'm afraid. We're gonna leave it at that.
You know what's funny? Before we did this episode, before we all came on, I was actually in a really bad mood. And I was gonna be like talk about like negative political stuff, like the stabbing stuff and all
disgusting.
That. I was having a shit day too, so I was really glad to.
So I'm actually really glad that we're not talking
now.
about all this stuff, because you know what, you guys, if you want to listen to conversations about the end of the white race and getting stabbed by police officers, or all the stuff that's happened in the real world, there's probably 100 podcasts that do it. We are talking about Juggalos, bowling shirts, because you know what, I can't do anything about the other stuff right now.
No, that's right. Yeah, exactly. I mean? Yeah.
I'm like, I've reached a point where like I just don't care. Like I come to the point where like I scroll past like Substack posts. I'm just like, dude, I don't care, And a lot of it is like, I know this stuff. I knew this stuff was going to happen. What am I going to do about it?
Yeah.
When the violence breaks out, I guess I'll join in. But until then, I'm just going to chill. I'm not going to sit here and like obsess about it.
Yeah, there's not.
It becomes like a news fatigue.
Yeah.
Right. So I just want to like watch dumb. I kind of want to enjoy my bread and circuses sometimes, if that makes sense. Because
that's exactly the mood that I'm in right now. Like with books, I think one of the reasons I've realized in the last couple of days. No, I think I've always known this. Like, what am I trying to say? There's a lot of snobbery in the literary community, as you guys are probably aware, like especially shitting on genres like romantasy or like fucking or even like the snobs who even shit on like science fiction, right? But here's the thing. I have had such a shit year, and I'm very open. Like if anybody listening follows me on Substack, I'm very open about like my mental health stuff. I have OCD. I'm a nutcase. Okay, whatever. Okay. And so one of the ways that I have dealt with things is through books. And I will read, Cormac McCarthy and Thomas Pynchon and like, hoity-toity classics and shit. But you know what? You got to reach for every once in a while. I'm reading a book right now. It's called The Wolf's Hour by Robert McCammon. I'm forgetting his first name. Name recall is absolutely zero for me today. Anyway, Wolf's Hour. It is a book about a werewolf spy versus Nazis during World War II. So the werewolf spy, spoiler alert, saves. I'm sure he's going to wind up saving World War II or whatever, like win the day, right, versus the Nazis. And I've been having a bit of a reading slump, and picking this fucking book up off my shelf. I got it maybe even a couple years ago now, and it's just been collecting dust on my shelf because I saw it at the used bookstore. I'm like, this looks hilarious. I have to take this home. So it's been on my shelf. I pull it off the shelf, and we're on page 10. Like, we're not even out of the prologue, and we're already getting fucking descriptions of bullets going through bodies and like exploding motorcycles, like right out of an 80s horror movie or like an 80s action movie. Like, I can picture this shit in some B movie. Like, you can picture like the fake blood chest bursts of the bullets and everything like that, and it's just so goofy. And like, there's like a later on in the prologue, we haven't even left the prologue yet, and there's a scene where like the guy who is also a werewolf is fighting in some sort of like mansion or something, but it's in Egypt, right? Because he saves El Alamein, by the way. Like that was his job. Okay, so
He's just
and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I don't care. And so we're in Egypt, but the mansion he's in for some reason is decorated with a bunch of like medieval like battle suits. I'm not with it today.
Armor,
suits of armor. Yeah, battle suits. Who cares? You might as well throw some fucking mech armor in this at this point anyway. It's just wild.
Absolutely.
He's actually a famous. He's actually a famous author.
Mobile Suit Gundam enters the chat, but
he wrote Boy's Life.
Everything does.
So then there's this like fight scene where there's the one guy picks up a sword out of the suit of armor, and like the other guy picks up like a flail, and like they're going at each other, and it's just, I needed to read this goofy shit. The prose is all right, you know what's happening. The author uses a little too many like bad metaphors. There's one description of a car exploding and like the corpse flies out of the car like a bloodied pinwheel. Crack up laughing. I needed to read something goofy. I needed to read something dumb. And every once in a while, that is okay. It's okay. You don't have to be a pretentious snot about every single book you read. Otherwise, you're just going to be fucking miserable all the time.
Right.
You know? Right. Same with movies. You know, there's only so many times you can rewatch like 2001 or I don't know, Citizen Kane or some crap. You know? And then every once in a while,
Lisa, did you see the rules that I added for my Substack?
I did.
You guys have to teach me how to do that. I don't know how to do that. Can I ban all Indians?
Yeah, actually, you could. Yeah, I mean,
I saw a guy on Substack who did that. But like, you could. He did that. He went through his subscribers, and he sorted his subscribers by country, and he took every single one from India and deleted them out of his subscriber list.
He's like, did that? But I didn't lose a single paid subscription.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
That was
Ryan Stone or whatever his name is.
I just want to ban everybody that's not from North America or Europe.
Stone.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, actually, no, I have some Japanese
We ought to get
people.
that dude on here at some point. I love that guy. He fucking cracks me up. He's just slays. But no, I added Lisa, did you see? Because I'm presuming Alex did.
I've seen it, yeah. But unless you've changed it since last time I looked.
Well, just in case I did, but it's like it's just, I'm thinking of it because you said like, hey, don't be a snob, and and I'm like, remember, it's the rules are, it's something like, remember, you're an evil and retarded sinner in need of the Lord's mercy.
Right.
Take that stick out of your ass, because if I have to do it, I'm beating you to death with it. It's just, guys, relax.
You know what's funny? Sometimes
you gotta chill a little.
Sometimes I'll post something or I'll see something, and then like somebody replies, and I'm like, this motherfucker, and like I have like this whole like I go to type something up, and they're like, you know what? I actually don't really give a shit. Block, delete. Yeah. You know,
perfect.
Like, I've got better things to do with my time. You know.
Yep.
Like I could have spent the next 10 minutes being irritated and writing like a dissertation on why you're a retard, but I'm not going to, because I just don't really care. Like,
take a deep breath.
I'm like,
that's the way.
I'm gonna go watch Freerun instead.
You could be arguing with a bot anyway. Like, you don't even know.
Right.
Like, so you're right. Like, I think I'm at the point where like, if it's like you don't have a picture, you don't blah blah blah, you're not interesting. You don't have a history, if that makes sense. Like a really cohesive because some of these bots, like you see all these people that like any type of political stuff, it's like the little orange Substack logo, and you go on there and they just retweet like all the shit lib retards. It's like the same.
It's just dumb shit.
It's just like a cycle of like bots retweeting each other to like make it look like it's like there's a history, but they're not. It's all completely retarded,
100%.
And it's just not worth the effort, man. It's like block instant. Like I want to make my Substack completely blocked unless I know you, unless I've seen you. I have no interest in reading your stuff. Like Twitter is completely unusable. There's no point in even having that anymore. It's like there's nothing good on it.
You gotta have
I don't know.
street cred,
I don't know how like Elon Musk bought Twitter and managed to make it so much crappier than the crappiest it was at the peak of like the shit libs owning it. Like literally, Joe Biden's staff could have run a better Twitter than Elon Musk runs.
He's probably on a lot of very experimental, designer drugs. Like, who knows?
He destroyed that website. It is awful. It is there's no value to it whatsoever. I used to enjoy Twitter. Like, I used to be able to I used to enjoy Twitter because I remembered I would discover new stuff, good books and stuff. It is just retarded slop and like third world nonsense now. And it's like, I don't want to read any of that stuff. I don't care about, like Instagram is like better for like reading like interesting shit posty stuff than Twitter. Like Instagram is like the new Twitter in a way. Like it's complete, and that's like a Zuckerberg thing,
The one thing that pisses me off about Instagram right now, though, is that it's harder to see things from your actual, like, back in the day when you would actually add your friends that you knew IRL to Instagram. And, like, now you never see their posts. Right. I almost never see posts from people that, like, I actually follow.
Right. Social media is not social anymore.
No,
it's not the people you used to know. Yeah. It's all just ads and, like I'll go like, oh, I wonder what this person's doing. And it's like somebody I followed on Facebook or Instagram since like Instagram came out like 15 years ago. I mean, I think I made an Instagram account back in 2009 or 10 or something when it first came out. I remember that specifically. And I've had people that I've followed, like family members and friends, like actual like friends that I've known in, in not in the back rooms of the internet, but in meat space, right? And I'll be like, oh, whatever happened to so-and-so? Like, he hasn't posted anything. Then I'll go click on their profile or search them, and they've got 10 years of posts that I've missed. Because stupid ass Instagram or Facebook or whatever doesn't show it to me because it's trash. And it's we're getting to the point where nobody's going to use the internet anymore. The internet's becoming useless. Like and it's kind of terrifying in a way because, or at least, if I had my wish, I would just delete the whole damn thing. Like I would just delete the internet and we'd go back to like 1910 technology. That's where I want to go back to. Nice. Like I just want to go back to the Victorian era or 1930s. That's an ideal.
Just be Amish at this point.
Yeah, the 20s or the 30s would be my peak.
Raising barns
technology. Like you can still I still want like intercontinental ships, like like the Titanic and the ships, so I can like travel around and stuff every now and then if I wanted to, but like they're still kind of exclusive, and maybe antibiotics, but other than that, nothing. I don't want anything past that.
Hey,
antibiotics have been
just don't go back before. Just don't go back before the discovery of insulin, unless you don't
like me. Insulin,
in which case, by all means.
Yeah.
Keep trucking.
When was synthetic insulin?
It's like 1921, 1922, something like that. Yeah, 1920s. So I'm just saying though, like I'm leaving the option up to you.
1921.
I live to serve. That was actually in Canada, London, Canada.
Yeah, I think Thanks, it's guys. On one of our dollar bills.
Yeah, buddy.
The insulin thing. Yeah, you're welcome.
Guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much.
Yeah. So can the Canadians? Thanks to Canada.
No problem at all. I'll take credit for it.
Yeah. Thanks to Canada. I get the shit post. Substack.
Yeah, he gets the shit post and call Canadians retarded.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, how peak would that be if we could just go back to like mid 20s, like the era of like Hemingway and those dudes living in Paris, and
we could go back to 1930s Italy and be like, listen,
I don't know,
the foreign adventures don't work out, so don't do that.
I think I do 50s, and I was ranting about this the other day. because currently my oven is broken. And I've always really liked mid-century modern stuff anyway. Like I've always been into it. But like a 1950s kitchen, like a fully decked out 1950s kitchen is fucking peak. And
Yeah, gorgeous.
they have like, how has everything gone to absolute shit now? Like there are houses that still have appliances from that era that still work.
Oh, like the ovens and stuff, and
they look cool. You know?
you know, actually, they do look cool. You know, I was driving to work 2 days ago, and I had like a little bit of a moment. Like, I'm always having a moment because I'm mentally ill, but I had a moment, and I'm driving, and it's like it's been the beginning of the week was kind of gloomy, so it was kind of rainy, and just driving down the highway, and everything's kind of gray and gloomy. And I look at all the cars, and I'm like, God, everything's so ugly. Why are the cars so ugly? Why is every car this ugly color? It's just like there's not one beautiful looking car. They're all just these hideous bubble ass colors. It's like white car, off grayish, just tan,
silver, black,
it's just silver, it's just
sometimes red. Maybe
this is river of gray of like, it's like this river of like cold ocean water in like Antarctica, basically. You know what I mean? It's like just with like icebergs, the occasional iceberg floating through it, and it's just like so dull, so boring. Like, what happened to like everything? Like, it's so ugly. Like, why do we live in this ugly world? It just makes me so mad. Like,
it's by design,
It is by design.
Well, for one, it's a lot cheaper for the manufacturers to
like do that, right? But it's funny. It's like we always like like history nerds always like pick on like the crappy ass like the filters used in like medieval movies. That and it's the whole thing of like, oh, you're making an ancient world movie or a medieval movie, but it's that like crappy gray brown filter. When really,
the medieval
Middle
brown
Ages were bright, they were bright and colorful, and all the fabric was bright and red and yellows and stuff like that. But our world is the shitty one. Our world is the one where you need to slap a crappy.
Well,
brown
I think that's one of the reasons why
everything.
people have a hard time imagining the past is actually being better. You know what I mean? As far as like colorful,
but the pictures,
decorative.
But the video I saw on YouTube said that it sucked. So it must suck, right? Yeah, full circle, guys.
I mean, am I glad I don't have to wash my clothes with stale urine? Yeah, I'm pretty glad about that. But there are some things that were better about back in the day,
Right. But I mean, still, you don't have to sit in front of some crappy computer all day, and like stare at that as it like refreshes your brain. But yeah, before we get going, you know what I did? Talk about movies. I followed your recommendation, Lisa, and I watched Perfect Blue.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was a trip. Have you ever heard of it, Fisto?
I remember you guys talking about it, but no.
It's another Goon anime. And it's not. It's an anime movie that came out, I believe, in 1997.
Yeah,
and it's basically like Mulholland Drive in anime form before like Mulholland Drive came out. / Black Swan. Actually, I think the production company from Black Swan bought the rights to this movie so they could copy some of the scenes from it and put it into Black Swan.
That's what I heard too. I haven't seen Black Swan, so I don't know how much they copied, but I do remember reading about that.
Yeah. It's a wild movie about like obsession and kind of like
celebrity
culture, like early internet
specifically
stalking.
Japanese idol culture,
right?
Like the whole idol.
All of our favorite things.
Thing. Yeah,
it's very Fight Club. Obviously, when I say it's very Fight Club, you guys know what I'm talking about. Where it's like, is it real? Is it the person's real? Is he not real? You know? And I felt like as soon as I finished it, I was like, wow, that's kind of like Fight Club / Black Swan / Mulholland Drive. So I had to look up when the movie came out. And it actually came out before all those movies. It came out before Fight Club. And I'm like, oh, that's wild. That like this anime kind of predid it. And a lot of those movies, actually, the guys that made those movies were really big into this anime director and got a lot of the ideas from him. And I'm like, oh, makes sense.
There it is.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's on HBO. It's called Perfect Blue. It's about an hour and a half, and it's about this girl that is an idol, and she kind of has a schizo breakdown, and people start dying around her, and it's kind of dark. It's not a kid's movie at all. It's got like a rape scene in it,
Yeah.
What else is there? What do we? I'm not doing anything. I'm writing. I've been writing a lot. It's pretty cool. Are you writing anything, Lisa?
Off and on. I'm trying really hard to get back into it. Like I was saying, like this year I've been in a fucking dark pit of despair. So I'm trying really hard to claw my way out of that. And part of that is picking up a pen and paper. And sometimes all I do is journal, and that's my only writing that I do in the day. And sometimes it's a few paragraphs here and there of some fiction. I really do hope my next Substack post is going to be some fiction. I'm trying really hard to finish something. Starting is easy. Finishing can be hard for me sometimes.
Right.
But I'm plugging away at it. We'll see.
You know, journaling is something I got back into.
Mhm.
So I have. Do you journal at all, Fisto?
A little bit.
Mhm.
I actually started this year. Actually, I have a couple of journals. It's really not like I'm not journaling,
Mhm.
but I mean, if you popped one open, you'd be like, oh, okay, this is where you get some of that shit from.
Mhm.
So
yeah.
I do two things, and I've been good at one every year, but the other one. So I have a bunch of, you know, like the little moleskin ones, like the
Mhm.
little notebooks. I have a bunch of those, and that's what I used to do journaling and to do. But I don't go like, it's just kind of like random notes and ideas, and sometimes I'll write like blah 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 blah. This is what I did and that kind of stuff, you know. And I usually transcribe them in a giant file I have. So my stuff goes back to like 2014, I think.
Mhm.
Some of them, like sometimes I'm like, I have like multiple entries a day, and other times I'll have like 4 entries a year type of thing, you know, but pretty
Yeah.
good.
Right.
And it's the notebooks I like are actually unlined completely. They're just sketchbooks. So I just like
Mhm.
write and sketch and just kind of like that way. It's not like I don't feel like I'm making a composition, if that makes sense. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's something about not having any lines or anything.
Mm.
I like it. So I've got like in my desk, I've got about 7 of them that are completely filled up and they're dated. I dated the
Oh, that's
beginning,
cool.
closed the end. And then most of them I've rewritten, like I've transcribed into a digital file and I have it
Mhm.
saved just in case like I lose the actual thing or something like that. It's saved on like a PDF online.
Mhm.
And I'll kind of transcribe them every year or so.
Mhm.
The other thing I do is every single June, I write my daughter a birthday letter on really nice
Aw.
stationery. And
Sweet.
I write her about like her year, like in what we're doing, what we did, what I'm thinking. It's like basically a long like journal letter.
Mhm.
And I date it and I put it in an envelope and I put it in a box. And I don't give it to her or anything like that.
Mhm.
And I've got like 7 of them already written, and I'm going to give them to her. I don't know when I die.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Aw.
So there's like
Yeah, that's
7.
really cool.
Sweet.
There's 7 birthday letters for her right now. I'm about to write her 8th one coming up because it's her birthday's coming up.
Mhm.
So like I've kept that up, like, you know, every year I do it, you know, and I just there's this box up in the closet that nobody knows about, and it just has all these little letters on nice stationery.
Aw.
I don't know if I'm gonna give it to her when she turns 18, or I don't know if I'll just hold on to them until I die or something. I don't know. You know, like
Mhm.
we'll see, right?
We'll find out.
But yeah, I thought, I don't know where I got that idea. I saw it online like 10 years ago, and I'm like, that's kind of a good idea, and I just started
Mhm.
doing it, you know. And I'm hoping that like one thing I always kind of like felt. So my dad, he suddenly got cancer when I was 19, and he died real quick after that. Like
Mhm.
he got diagnosed with cancer in December. He got diagnosed with cancer in the spring, and he was dead by December. He died right before
Oh,
Christmas,
wow.
right? And I feel like I never got to like understand him as an adult, really.
Mhm.
Like I did, like we had like a good relationship, but I never like got to understand him as an adult or like what he's, you know, because when you're like 19, before not you're like an adult, you never, you know, you don't really like get deep
Mhm.
down into the thoughts of your parents until you're much older.
No.
And that's kind of why I like to journal in a way. I'm like hoping that maybe like, what if I like die or something like that? I want my daughter to understand how I thought about things, you know, like why I did that, why I picked this movie, you know, why I
Yeah.
liked about that movie, you know. And I
Mhm.
don't know, is there a level of like hubris to it, you know? Is there a level of like, you know, main character syndrome in it. I don't know, maybe.
No,
But at
I
the
don't
same
think so.
time, I would have liked to
Nah,
read my
because
dad's journals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
well,
No.
because
Well, when
leaving
my dad passed away, and I found unsent letters and stuff that he had written to like my sister, for example. My sister has also passed away. She passed away before my dad did, and so many tears were shed. You know what I mean? It's the seeing, even just seeing someone's handwriting that has passed on, even like I have something he
yeah,
mailed to me years ago. It's a big trunk, and I have a bunch of like baby clothes and stuff in it. I use it just like, because same sort of thing. Like I've kept the baby clothes that my kids wore, when they were like
Right.
newborn babies, in the hopes that like, when they have their own kids, maybe if their wives are all right with it, they can have the thing. Or I'll just keep it when I'm old and reminisce about when they were teensy tiny babies. Whatever.
Right.
I keep it in this
I still
trunk.
have like my first outfit I wore when I came back from the hospital. Like it's in like my closet. You know what I mean? I still have my
We still
daughter's
have the
first
watch my
outfit.
husband wore to time my contractions.
Right. That's amazing.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
so cool.
But
And does
yeah,
that
so
stuff
the
matter?
trunk.
We
Sorry.
get people people will say like, oh, it's just just gonna be trash when you die. Well, maybe. Who cares though? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
I'll be dead. Yeah.
Alex, the folks that are saying it's going to be trash when you're dead, like those are the same people who are saying nepo babies aren't okay because
right.
Yeah.
you're leaving your daughter a legacy. You're leaving a daughter
Yeah. There's a difference
version of
between
you.
there's a difference between
It's
leaving
awesome.
your
It's
kids
absolutely based.
something nice
It's
and leaving
fantastic.
them a house full of junk. Like I also had to deal with a lot of my
Yeah.
dad's junk. But
Right.
yeah, so this trunk has the label on it still that he wrote my address on. And I'm keeping that on there because any fraction of like his handwriting or anything is so special. I'm never going to see fresh handwriting from my father ever again. I have
Right.
a quilt that my grandmother made me, and she signed it, to Lisa, Merry Christmas, 1996, on this quilt. And it's like one of the few things from my childhood that I still have. And she, she hand stitched the all the appliques on that quilt, and she, got the fabric pen out and signed it. I don't have anything else with my grandma's handwriting on it. That's the only thing that I have. That little patch on a quilt. My handwriting is, and I think you and I have had this conversation before. About how, because we don't write letters to people anymore,
Right. We did.
right?
Yeah.
We don't have that like, I still remember having to learn how to write letters in school, but like I don't think kids now are learning how to freaking write a letter, dear whoever, blah 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 blah. You do it, and then this is how you do the addresses. What kid knows how to do that anymore?
Right.
Kids aren't even taught how to
Crap.
read cursive writing. Like they wouldn't even be able to read their grandma's letters, which is why
Look,
I'm
I'm not gonna.
personally pissed off that kids aren't getting taught cursive writing. If they're not
I'm
going,
not
if you don't learn cursive writing, how are you supposed to read historical family
documents and
documents?
stuff. Right. I mean, let me tell you. I'll tell you the truth. Like a few years ago, I decided to send everybody like Christmas cards,
Mm-hmm.
and I realized that I haven't actually mailed anything in like a
Yep.
decade, and I forgot how to use stamps. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
how many stamps go on this thing?
Yeah.
I had to Google it. I was like, oh my god, I don't use stamps anymore.
Yep.
Like I like anymore. I was like, no, that you bought like the permanent stamps or whatever, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, okay, so it's just one. But yeah, I
Yep.
felt like completely stupid because I forgot
Mm-hmm.
how to use stamps. Like
Yeah. And the
if you
prices
asked
have
me to write
changed
a
so much too. Since
I don't know how to write a check right now. Like I forgot how to write checks. I haven't written a check since like 2009. Like I don't know the last time I wrote a check.
last time I wrote, actually, it wasn't technically the last time. So when I was renting studio space, when I had my sewing thing, the first check I wrote was the first check I had written in many, many years. And this was like 10 years ago again, too. So it's also been 10 years since I wrote any checks. But I wrote it wrong. And my landlord's like, I could, what did I do? I think I wrote something on the wrong line. And so it made it like, what do you call that? Like an open check or something like that, or like
Oh
anybody
no.
could have cashed the check. Anyway, I wrote it wrong. I did. And I'm like,
Right.
oh no. And he's like, look, I'm obviously not going to rip you off. However, for next time, and I felt so stupid.
That's wild. I don't know. I feel like that I'm glad you guys are on my side, because I felt kind of I feel like I don't know, I feel like dumb for like journaling and stuff, but I feel like it really helps with my writing, because
Mhm.
I also like do a lot of journaling. I have a file that's just a digital journal basically, and
Mhm.
sometimes I just like free write. I'm just writing, like I just write dumb stuff, like, and sometimes it turns into like a Substack post, and sometimes it just
Mhm.
stays there. I never look at it again, and I use it to like, in a way, it's like what I've been doing lately is like, at least I'm writing here, even if I'm
Mhm.
not working on an actual piece of work.
Yeah,
Um,
keeping your hands moving. Yeah.
right. I'm getting thoughts out and ideas out,
Mhm.
and I just save it all. And what's crazy, like there's I'm gonna read you guys real quick, because I think this is kind of cool. All right, let me
All right.
open my thing. I have a cool. I use Scrivener to write. I don't know what you use to write. I like Scrivener a lot, and I have a bunch of different Scrivener files.
Yeah, when I'm doing novels, I'm doing them on Scrivener. Yeah.
I use Scrivener for everything.
Yeah.
So I look back, and where's my 2021? We'll go back to 2000. So sometimes I go back, and I was going back and I was reading like some of the stuff, and I'm back in. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I apologize for being lame.
No problem.
Okay, so here's an entry from September 28th, 2017. And it's just a quick one, right? From my journal. It says, Jay just told me that she's pregnant. We drove to the store and bought more tests for verification. The lines showed
Aw.
up. It feels amazing. I look forward to being a father.
Aw.
From now on, I'll have to quit smoking, and I'll try to be better at being a human. Hopefully, I make everybody proud. And that's my
Aw.
entry. That's the only entry that month,
Yeah.
and it's like, when I came across it, I was like, okay, that's why I do this. It's for myself. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I can like feel, and some of the entries are like really stupid. Like,
Mhm.
let me see, like a random one,
A lot of
it's a
mine are
random
just like, I did laundry today.
right,
I should
right.
probably vacuum, but I don't want to. And that's like my entry for the day.
Yeah. I have one for like April 16th, 2018. I'm like, man, I'm doing this 531 challenge, and it's going pretty well, but I'm feeling pretty sore, and I think I've got DOMS. And then I go on this like tangent about like, I'm starting to feel that our over reliance on digital media is going to bite me in the ass. Civilization was saved by the written word. I want to focus more on actually like writing with my pen and paper instead of like deferring to the internet. And then that's from 2018. So this is the kind of crap I was thinking about like 8-9 years ago. You know what I mean? It's the same shit, right?
Yep.
And it's just an interesting thing to like do that, and I think that's where the value is. I read, actually. I really enjoy reading like other people's journals, if that makes sense. Not like people we know. I'm talking like, I'm like breaking into
Famous
your
people
house,
or
Lisa,
whatever. Yeah.
and reading.
That's
I'm
what
all
that
like,
thump was.
I'm like reading your diary, Lisa. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool, man.
Yeah. I
I don't even remember my live journal login.
So
I don't remember it at all.
really enjoy. Oh, I deleted my live journal because I
And
actually
maybe I did
remembered
too.
it,
I don't know.
and I went through it, and I was like, oh, good God. Like that was not going to be on the internet for eternity. Like some of the stuff I wrote in there. This is like, I had a live journal when I was in like high school, so that was bad. But I like Jonathan Fowles, like basically journals. He's the guy that wrote the Magus,
Yep.
and and I really like. I have a copy. I haven't finished it. I just kind of like randomly pick it up while I'm drinking coffee in the morning. Franz Kafka's like diary, basically journals, and they're really interesting because you look in. I feel like when you read a writer's like writing, you do get an idea of who they are from their work, but their work is edited and stuff. But sometimes from their journals, you're just like, what? Like this guy is just he's just like me, for real, bro. He's like writing about like how he hates his eggs in the morning or something like that, and I'm like, I get it. I too hate the eggs in the morning because I can never cook a good fried egg on the electric stove. For God's sakes, why do I have an electric stove? I want my gas stove, but they don't have gas stoves in freaking South Carolina.
No.
Okay. Like,
No.
what is it with South Carolina and not having gas stoves? It is just a crime against nature, and I cannot cook a freaking fried egg properly on an electric stove.
Mhm.
And this you see 1,000 years from now, and this you see, children, is when the murders began.
Yeah, I wonder if Dostoevsky or something like that is like what in his journals is ranting about and the Tsar took away my log stove or something like that. I don't know. You know, it's just
why does
probably
the Tsar like gas stoves? It's Russia.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. But that's why, I'm actually motivated. I feel like writing just anything opens up. So I think I'm actually gonna I've also decided. I don't know if you guys all have seen my post that I'm gonna go full retard when it comes to writing on Substack. I'm not editing anymore. I am just. It's just coming out, dude. I'm gonna be anti AI. Everything's gonna be completely stupid, agrammatical. It's gonna be embarrassing, and I'm working on. I know, Fissa, you're working on a project.
Yes.
I'm gonna be on Jason's new project podcast on the 20th.
Cool.
Whoop whoop, Jason. We're basically going to talk about the American version of distributists, but the Southern agrarians and some of the art stuff. It's very interesting. I don't know why these guys want me on there because I'm a foreigner. I'm not a true Southerner, but I do live in the South and I do love the South. So it's interesting. It's my foreign to Southern perspective, I guess. I don't think I'll ever be a Southerner, like a true Southerner, because I think you have to be 17 generations. But for the audio only people, Jason in the chat says, because you're an art snob and we're both Philistines. It's true, So it's going to be interesting. I went over the essay he had. It's going to be fun, but it's going to be on the 20th. I don't know if it's live or if we're going to release it later. I'm actually doing some homework for that because I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about. I have a huge book here called South Carolina History by Edgar, which I've been kind of working my way through. It's basically the history of South Carolina. I'm really interested in South Carolina because I live here. I think if you live somewhere, you should read single book about your state and your location. I'm also interested in Georgia because I can see Georgia from where I live. I mean, no, I'm just joking, but it's 5 minutes away. So Georgia and the state line's not really real where I live here. It's really it's called the Low Country, so it's both. It's South Carolina and parts of Georgia, and technically Charleston is my big city in South Carolina, but really Savannah is because it's 5 minutes away and Charleston's an hour north. So I'm trying to learn as much about Savannah and that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's coming up. But what I'm really, really, really kind of obsessing right now is modernism and postmodernism. I'm kind of obsessed with 20th century modernism and postmodernism. And what I'm obsessed with is the fact that nobody understands what modernism and postmodernism means.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I keep on seeing these terms thrown around, be like, oh, gross postmodern nonsense. And I'm like, you don't know what it means. Shut up. Okay. He's like, oh, it's people like Lisa Liebs.
That's another reason why I muted her, because I'm like, you don't know what postmodern means.
You don't even know what
big
postmodern
fancy
means.
Education, and you don't know what postmodern means. Yes.
Yeah, she has no idea. She has no idea what it means because she's like, they just these postmodern guys. I'm like, you mean horrible?
And then she lists off people to read, and half of them are fucking postmodern writers.
Right? She's like. The academics in publishing only like postmodern writers. You should be reading not postmodern writers like Cormac McCarthy. Spoiler alert: Cormac McCarthy is a postmodern
narrator.
writer.
She did not know.
or those postmodern novels like The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco is a postmodern novel, guys. Basically, anything written after 1950 is a postmodern novel. Because it is. there's a lot of really great postmodern.
Except for in
novels.
science fiction. If you look at the history of science fiction,
True.
modernism stuck around for a lot longer. And then you didn't get kind of like postmodern-y stuff till late 60s, 70s in sci-fi.
Right.
And that's where you
Really-
get like
really
new wave
until-
sci-fi and stuff.
New wave sci-fi and like cyberpunk really were the first
Yeah.
postmodern science fiction.
Yeah.
Well, Philip K. Dick really is early postmodern, I think.
Yeah.
When it comes to
Yeah.
sci-fi,
Yeah.
the movie Apocalypse Now is postmodern.
Gene Wolfe.
Basically, all of
Actually, I don't know. Is Gene Wolfe modern or postmodern?
It's iffy.
I
It's
think
iffy.
Book of the New Sun. I would say it's postmodern.
It's a deconstruction, and there's a lot of like iffiness when it comes to like a hagiography and that kind of stuff. There's a weird rape scene with the robot girl and that type of thing, where it doesn't like the truth is not the truth, and that kind of stuff. So like it's definitely
Well, even like Fifth Head is friggin' funky like that too.
Yeah, I don't think Lisa Liebson actually knows what modernism or postmodernism.
No, she doesn't. No.
Yeah, I don't think she has like the faintest, like she doesn't have like the high school level understanding of that, which is really shocking because she keeps on talking about how she went to Columbia.
I went to Columbia. Yes.
I went to Columbia.
Well, you know what?
And
I'm
like,
a fucking dropout, and I know the difference between modern and postmodern. Like, you're not, whatever.
Because I got kicked out
bragging
of
about education is like the most fucking educated moron thing that anybody does. I went to this school. Good for you.
I got kicked out of Long Beach Community College and Golden West Community College because I just did not show up, and eventually they made it to where I can't enroll in classes anymore because I just didn't go and wasted all the government assistance money, which just kidding. I never got any government assisting money. I'm white. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like everybody knows I don't get that money, but you know what I mean? Like it's like she doesn't know anything at all. But I kind of want to do a big essay and maybe an actual like video essay on what modernism and postmodernism is, because I am so tired of hearing Jordan Peterson brain people be like, postmodernism is when like you don't know what it means, dude. Shut up. Like it just everything you like guys, I'm gonna give you a clue. 90% of the stuff you like and you think is based is actually postmodern. Just so you know, okay? Like almost everything you like is postmodern, and then if you don't like the things and you really like the things that came before it, it's modern. All right. And even some of the stuff from the 19th century, like the late Dostoevsky, is pretty modern. Matter of fact,
Hemingway is one of the big
he's
modern names.
Yeah, I think he's a modernist 100%, right? Also, I still want to fight people that don't like The Great Gatsby, but that's just me. I'm a Great Gatsby.
They should be fought. We're gonna have to do an entire episode of The Great Gatsby.
I feel like we've done like 5 of them already. Where we I feel like I read most of The Great Gatsby on the air one time on an episode. At least I read the first chapter. Didn't I?
Yeah, I think.
Well, I was trying to prove what great writing it is. Like, I don't understand like how you can read. Now, there's some school, like high school books that like you read in high school that I can't stand. The Grapes of Wrath is one of them. Right? Like, I despise The Grapes of Wrath, like with the fucking passion. Okay, actually, I hate all of Steinbeck. I hate Of Mice and Men. Also, I hate the whole.
We had to read Of Mice and Men.
Yeah,
I remember. I didn't read it, of course, but I read very little that I was assigned. I read whatever I wanted, basically.
Yeah. Metamorphosis. Jason doesn't like Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis has a kind of a cool premise. He was born a cockroach. And he woke up some sort of a bug and blah, blah, blah. It's depressing. Franz Kafka stuff is depressing.
That's kind of the point.
Dude, I'm going to be honest, man. When it comes to middle century, early 20th century, middle 20th century European writing, I don't like Germans. I don't really like Germans. I don't know what it is. I don't like the Magic Mountain kind of like I started it a bunch of times. I could never finish it. I need to really try again. There's just something about Germans I don't like when it comes to writing. I just don't like it. I'm a Russian guy.
Speaking
Russian
speaking of
supremacy.
German lit, when I was in high school, I went through a huge Goethe phase, or
Right.
Goethe, if you want, Goethe, whatever. Who cares?
Goethe. You know,
Goethe,
didn't I do a pronunciation guide on it, and I pronounced his name like 30
Goethe.
wrong.
I'm
Yeah,
not German.
Goethe.
Whatever. So,
Goethe.
so I went through a huge phase reading his stuff.
The
My
Faust guy.
favorite book in high school was The Swords of Young Werther. I read that book many, many times. And it's probably part of my problem. But I got away with doing the same book for like 3 different English classes because I had a different teacher for each English class. So I think I did The Swords of Young Werther like 3 times in a row. I read a bunch of his poetry and stuff. And then I started that's when I started learning about like Sturm und Drang and the Romantic movement that came right after Sturm und Drang and all that crap. So like when you shit on like German literature, I'm like, well,
No, you know what?
except for this one period of German literature.
I get it. I mean, I'm not like, I'm not shitting on it. It's actually one of those things where I recognize its greatness. I just don't like it.
I
Do you know what I mean?
haven't read too much German literature from the 19th or I should say late 19th or 20th century. Really, I haven't. I can't think of a German author that I've read from that period.
Have you
But
read
early 19th
have you read
century,
The Magic
late
Mountain?
18th century, I've read some stuff.
Have you read The Magic Mountain?
Yeah.
Have you read Magic Mountain?
No.
It's like the big one, by Thomas Mann.
Yeah, it's one of those books
it's
where like I know so much about it from people talking about it that like I haven't read it. Same
Yeah.
thing with Herman Hesse's stuff. I haven't read any of
Siddhartha. That's
that
Herman,
one
Herman
or
Hesse's book.
Steppenwolf. I haven't read.
Yeah. I don't know
I
what it
remember
is
once
about,
taking
like,
Steppenwolf up from the library, but I never read it.
I just the whole those, I don't know what it is. They just bounce off me for some reason, and it's
Mhm.
I need to try it again. When it comes to like I love Russian writers. I don't love Tolstoy as much. I know some people like I know everybody's gonna get mad at me. I know Contrarini is all about Tolstoy. Everybody's about Tolstoy. I feel like you tend to lean towards Tolstoy or Dostoevsky, and I lean more towards Dostoevsky. I like Tolstoy, but Tolstoy was a little bit of a, he's a nobleman. He was a little bit more of a, he really hated the Orthodox Church, and I don't particularly like that about him and some of his writing. I don't know. He was kind of a shit lib in a way. That's why I don't really like clash. I clash with Tolstoy. He bounces off me, but he's great. War and Peace is great. Anna Karenina is great. There's something about Dostoevsky that I really connect with, even though sometimes he can be a little bit melodramatic, which I do like. I like a lot of Japanese writers. I really enjoy, for example, I enjoy the un-Japanese writer, Haruki Murakami a lot, and I like all the other Murakami who wrote, who writes In the Miso Soup and really kind of like torture porn kind of horror police stories and stuff. I obviously like Yukio Mishima. I don't know if you've ever read his quadrilogy, but it's amazing.
I can't think of a single Japanese novelist that I've read.
But you need to fix that.
I know.
You need to add some Japanese novels.
And then I was like, okay, well, as you're talking, I'm like, what's a country other than an English speaking country where I've read stuff? And Michel Houellebecq is
Michel Houellebecq. Yeah.
I do like his stuff. I haven't read every single one of his books.
Celine. I don't know if you read Celine. Journey to the End of the World. Journey to the End of the Night. Yeah, that's a great French novel. I do enjoy those. In a way, Celine feels very
Stranger
Russian.
by Camus.
Camus, right?
It was a very good book.
So I guess I do like the French. I do like the British. I do like the British sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
I like the I like the new wavy kind of British stuff. Like what is it? Crash and what's his name? oh my gosh, Neil's gonna be
Bullard.
mad at. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That whole like era of like
Yeah.
Joy Division
Yeah.
inspired Joy Division kind of writing,
Yeah.
like the like Super Can and the High Rise and the whole like kind of like proto cyberpunk like darkness kind of stuff. I do like modern French, I guess. Michel Houellebecq, which he has the best name ever. I mean, he's great. He's one of the best
Hard to spell.
contemporary. I can never spell it. That's when I go straight to the spell check.
Yeah.
But Michel Houellebecq, he just writes the same book over and over, and it's kind of depressing.
I'm a depressed Frenchman, oversexed Frenchman.
Yeah, I just want to I'm like depressed because like 19-year-olds don't want to sleep with me anymore, and I'm French, and there's Muslims everywhere now, and they don't want to sleep with me either. So it's like really like,
but they are. So it's just observational.
Yeah, but it's good. And like I read Michel Houellebecq, and I was like, man, this guy's depressing. And then after I read some Michel Houellebecq, I actually read Celine, Journey to the End of the Night, and I was like, whoa, well, that is the most depressing novel I've ever read in my entire life. I like Italian stuff. Italo Calvino is good. I've read South American stuff. I really enjoy The Savage Detectives and 2666. There's some great Romanian writers. Like one of them is named Alexandru Constantine. He's pretty good. And there's some great stuff. But all right. It is 9:00 though, guys. We've been talking for like 2 hours straight, and it was a fantastic conversation.
It was fun.
I really enjoyed it. It actually really cheered me up. I was in a downer mood. I was disassociating and abstracting a little bit. I feel to work tomorrow, which kind of sucks, but and I have a lot of stuff to do. I have never read Zorro. American writer and essayist asked me if I ever read Zorro. I have not read Zorro.
No.
But what I do like that's kind of from the same era is Captain Blood is kind of from the same era as Zorro. And also this novel called Scaramouche. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Scaramouche is a fantastic novel from like kind of the same era as Zorro. A novel I've never read? I've never read The Count of Monte Cristo.
That's on my list of shame too. I haven't read it either.
Yeah. I feel like it's one of those where like it's been hyped so much that if I read it, I'm not going to like it.
Yeah. It's like I was saying, like, so much. There's a lot of movies like that too, where it's like, oh, I've seen so many clips of it, or I've seen people talk about it so much. I feel like I've already watched it, blah blah blah, and then you end up not ever actually watching it.
That's how I feel about The Princess Bride.
You haven't actually watched The Princess Bride?
No. I've seen The Princess Bride. I have watched The Princess Bride, but like I grew up and like most of my teens, people have quoted that stupid fucking movie over and over and over as the greatest movie of all time. And I finally watched it like in my 30s with my wife. And I'm like, I mean, it's good, but it's not that good. The way people made it out to be was like just the greatest movie of all time.
I mean, it is one of my favorite. It's probably Princess Bride is probably in my top 3. You have
to watch it like young to like really enjoy it.
Part of it is nostalgia glasses for sure.
Right. Yeah. Where I think that like The Dark Crystal and Labyrinth are much better.
Oh, Labyrinth is fantastic. Era. I love Labyrinth.
Well, yeah, Labyrinth is like the peak movie from.
I love Labyrinth.
The Jim Henson weird era,
it would be in my top 5.
Yeah, and it has all the weird like psychosexual stuff and like all the clues and stuff. It's like really weird. It has David Bowie in it, so it's just that right there is peak. All right, guys. Next week we'll be on the same time, and expect some essays. Expect a bunch of cool stuff from everybody. Fisto's got some projects. I got some projects. Lisa's hopefully going to get some more projects for us. If you haven't read Lisa's books, please buy them. I'd say download.
Yeah.
My brain. Well, download them. I don't know.
Throw a couple bucks my way. It would be nice.
Yeah, I really enjoy all of Lisa's books, or else she wouldn't be on here. If I tell you I like somebody's books and stuff, it's because they're good. But yeah, Jason says the Wild Bunch is my top 5. Yeah, I like the Wild Bunch. I also like the samurai version of it. I think that one's really good. The Akira Kurosawa version. Have you ever seen the Akira Kurosawa version of King Lear?
I actually haven't. I've been wanting to. I keep seeing it lately. I don't know what it is. What do they call that
It's
phenomenon
going to get.
where
I
you
don't know,
see something over and
like
over again for some reason?
synchronicity.
Yeah, something like that.
Like, yeah.
So I've been meaning to watch it, but I haven't.
Yeah, it's called something thrown. I've never seen it actually, but it's got the same actor he uses in everything, Toshiro Mifune or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do recommend. I'm not thinking of on Wild Bunch. I'm thinking of the. I know what Wild Bunch is, but you know what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking of the Magnificent Seven is what I'm thinking.
Magnificent Seven
The
is
cowboy
Seven
movie,
Samurai. Yeah.
Seven
Yep.
Samurai. Wild Bunch is completely separate, but I know what it is also.
Well, there's so many samurai movies that copied cowboy movies, and there's so many cowboy movies that copied samurai movies. Like,
Right.
it was a
And
thing.
then Star Wars copied
Both.
the hidden fortress or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is a samurai movie, but that's actually that movie is actually pretty good. If you ever watched the Hidden Fortress, it's actually interesting the way they do a lot of like things from whatever. All right, guys. Good night. We'll see you guys next week. Lisa Fisto, keep blocking people. You know, let's make Substack retard free. So let's keep it up. I'm gonna figure out how to block people. I gotta figure out how to do that thing you guys did where people can't comment on stuff. But maybe I'll be more active on Substack. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll start posting just like a free association like schizo posting where I just post about like what food I ate. And by the way, earlier today, like right before the thing, I said I'm gonna go make food, but I wasn't sure what I was gonna make. I ended up making steak. I made steak with a kale and cauliflower salad. It was pretty good. I'm pretty impressed. All right, guys. Good night, and we will see you next week. You guys have a fantastic weekend, and catch up on some cool movies in the theaters. I do recommend you guys watch Perfect Blue. It's on. It's an anime on HBO, and if you have HBO, go ahead and watch that. It's an hour and a half. It's definitely worth watching if you haven't seen it. And if you really want to watch a schizo show, I do recommend you watch on YouTube or on Netflix The Amazing Digital Circus. I really enjoyed it. It is a complete Freudian nightmare of it's just insane. But it's worth your time. All right, guys. Good night, and we will see you next week.
Night.
Good night.